Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to another episode of the 80s ADHD Guy with Ben Glenn. And I've got I almost said the ADHD guy on the road because we used to do that all the time.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
We have a special guest on today's podcast. I roped in my daughter, Natasha Joy Glenn. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. So you have not listened to any of my pods yet, so I'm going to give you the spiel that I've put on the first 6 episodes. I've got 6 episodes done. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's crazy.
I know. So the whole idea is that I grew up in the 80s.
Yes, I know.
Notice I'm wearing my Cobra Kai shirt.
Of course, representing.
Oh, totally. And things were a lot different back then than they are now.
Yeah.
And so this particular podcast, and I want you to have the freedom to just be yourself. I'm not performing because you've seen me perform. I get up and I got my stories. Mm-hmm. I am unedited.
Yep.
I'm going to try not to swear because, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But I do. What?
You know what?
Wait, I have one word that I say. I never drop the F-bomb. When's the last time you heard me do that?
The pizza guy.
And how long ago was that? Years.
That was not years.
It was years.
That was like last year.
Okay, but it's been a long time, so I'm not over here like dropping F-bombs every 2 seconds.
1 year.
Hey, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah. You still can work on it, though.
Hey, do you remember when you went to school and like every time you turned around, it was F-bomb this, F-bomb that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's honestly still like that.
Yeah, but I do struggle with the sh word, and proudly enough though, in the first 6 pods, I have not dropped the sh word.
Well done.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna want like a golf clap or something.
Yeah, give me a golf clap, kid. Come on, thank you very much. Thank you. For those of you that are listening and not watching, I received a golf clap.
Yes.
Okay, so I brought you on today's episode because in my last episode, I was talking about a few things and it really made me think of you.
Okay.
Now, we know that ADHD is hereditary. You've heard me speak and talk about ADHD pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
We've never officially gotten you tested or diagnosed, but...
I think we both know.
What? Why are you laughing?
I think we both know. I don't really need a test either. I mean, Annie never got tested either.
Well, no, she did have some testing because she's got a 504 and an IEP.
Oh, so she did.
Based on the state, she is officially, diagnosed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got accommodations and stuff that the school is mandated to provide, which is kind of a nice feature for her, and that'll travel with her for the rest of her life. I don't know, like if she goes to college, that's something I don't know, and I might need to do some research on it. Is how would that work in the workplace? I mean, is there some kind of a benefit?
Probably.
There? Yeah. I don't know.
I think so.
So, I mean, in school, you don't have your tests aren't timed. Does that mean there's no deadlines? If you're working and they're like, you can get that video edited whenever you feel like it.
No. The tests are timed because it's the time period, like the period you're in class.
Yeah, but for her, she can go as long as she needs because she's got the 504.
Yeah, all right.
It's kind of a nice feature.
Yeah, I never got that.
Back to where I was going with this, you've never been officially diagnosed. If you do have ADHD, and I think that you have... Those of you that are listening, she's making faces. She's got her dad's facial Tourette's.
Yeah.
so she could give looks and they just speak volumes. You're giving me looks yesterday.
When?
In the morning. So Natasha's not a morning person, and she hasn't been feeling good. So if she has to blow her nose, I appreciate you. You were struggling through your cold. And you're on this podcast, but I will say, if you hear some weird noises, she's blowing
it's
her.
It's not on purpose. I have.
No. But yesterday she was giving me, didn't even say a word. And you just like, I was just back away. Yeah. Back away.
Nobody talk to me right now. I need some time.
But, so if you have ADHD, I would say that you're high functioning.
Yeah. For the most part.
But there are definitely things that are indicators. So let me.
Oh, you got like notes?
Oh, yeah. So in the last few podcasts, I've been sharing my stories, kind of doing a little bit of a deeper dive because people, they get like a chunk, but they don't get all the details. And then part of this is, Ben, I went online and I download all this information that's accessible to everybody and just kind of been reading through it and filtering it through the 80s guy brain.
Yeah.
So just unfiltered, unedited. And most of this stuff I haven't prepared it all. I just kind of
That's great.
put it down on a PDF file, printed it off. Well, I wanted it to have like that initial response.
Yeah.
Like, what's your gut tell you? You know,
Yeah,
what's
like
that impulse? And of course, you know, your mom is probably, you should have prepared and read.
Yeah, no.
I can't help, like, I've been
gotta be more
impersonating your
authentic.
mom, and it sounds a lot like the Nana.
Yeah, it does.
That's just going to
I was
irritate
going
her.
to say something.
Do I need how would you impersonate your mom?
Gosh, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of want to.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah, like see, she's Russian, but she doesn't have that
the
Russian.
accent.
You know, I don't know.
Whoa.
That's a real Russian thing.
Yes, it is.
I think. What did I just say?
I don't even know.
I think that means good morning. Kakvazavut. No, that means what's your name? Yeah, Kakvazavut is
no
if I say.
idea.
So I did try to learn a little bit of Russian.
Oh, did you?
Kakvazavut. You then would say Mnie zovut Natasha. So I ask you what your name is, and you say Mnie zovut. So it's weird. I just remember weird things.
Yeah, me too.
So here are some symptoms and the diagnostic criteria. Look at me using big words. Mm-hmm. It's because they're written down.
Yeah, I thought so.
Thanks, kid. I'm going to read some of these to you, and I want you to just kind of like, oh, yeah, that's me. Or if I read something, you're like, I don't really know what that is.
Yeah.
This is a honest and open, like real thing, you know? So, all right. So inattention. Do you know what inattention is?
Like
So what is having attention?
Like paying, like you're listening to somebody very closely. Right?
Yes, you're listening. Or what other things do we pay attention to?
What was that? Oh. I'm like, you're pointing to your cup or something?
No, this is supposed to be the phone right here.
Oh.
Yeah, like how often?
I would do this.
How often?
Selfie.
Dude, every morning you sit with your, my coffee cup and your cup. Like, I can't drink my coffee because she's using my cup to hold up her phone so she can watch. Recently, what have you been watching?
Fortnite, I guess?
No.
Oh, poker. Yeah, I've been watching poker videos.
That's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just popped up. I'm like, ooh.
Okay, so inattention would be the opposite of attention. So it says difficulty sustaining attention. Do you think that applies to you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely in some instances.
So give me one of those instances.
I'm going to say my sophomore year entrepreneurship class. I could not pay attention. This guy, I'm not even kidding, the most monotone teacher I ever met in my life. He didn't even introduce himself on the first day. I'm like, I already know this is going to be an awesome class. He put me way in the back. I'm like, how do you expect me to pay attention when I'm all the way in the back? I mean, you give us these thick book packets and you just read through them, and like, what am I supposed to do?
So there's a little to no engagement with.
No engagement.
Is
Nothing.
It basically he just got out there and was reading off of the thing? Wow.
Yes.
So basically, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, which is actually a pretty exciting thing, and especially for those that have ADHD, it's actually a great thing because we're typically pretty good at it.
Yeah.
This guy pretty much crushed it.
Yeah, he bombed it.
So you were super distracted that whole time. Okay.
Yeah.
So failure to follow through on tasks. Where do you rank? You probably are like, oh crap, I feel like I'm being lectured right now.
That one's pretty bad. I feel so bad because I know I don't know, if you have a job, that's what you're supposed to do. You have to finish those things. And at least for you and, Mom, with the videos I make you guys, I finish them most of the time, but some weeks I don't get in all my hours, and that's a bit tough because, once again, I get distracted with a lot of other things. And
so let me ask you this, just for those that are listening and watching. So, Natasha, you've graduated.
Yes, I have.
You are now learning how to adult.
Yeah.
You're adulting.
Yeah.
You sound so passionate about that.
Much.
Now, I'm going to brag on you for a minute. You are very gifted when it comes to video, cinematography type stuff, video editing. It's something that you started when you were little.
Yep.
Through, hey guys, this is Natasha, and welcome to my Pokemon adventure. And you you would do your little Pokemon reveals or Lego reveals with Lando Calrissian. You still have that YouTube page?
Yeah, I literally just pulled it up the other day and we watched it.
Okay. So do you ever post anything on it anymore?
I do not.
Okay.
I've been doing more stuff on my Natasha Joy's account.
Yeah, what is your social media, just in case somebody's interested?
So my Instagram's Natasha Joy Videos. I'm doing a challenge where I post on there every single day for the next year, and right now I'm on day 96. So,
which is, hey, talk about following through on tasks.
Yeah,
that's huge. I mean, that's a huge victory.
That is. It's kind of surprising. I didn't think I'd make it this far. I wish I had a more positive mindset about that kind of thing. But I think the thing I struggle with is, like, when it's my personal stuff, I can get it done. But when it's for others, I struggle. Well, which is really sad because I'm trying to be more other-centered.
And I think part of it, too, and we've talked about this, so you are taking a gap year.
Yes.
We don't really know what your goals are as far as, hey, do I want to go to college? Is this something that's in my future? But what we do know is that you're very good in this video stuff. And both your mother and I have several needs in that department. You've done amazing stuff for me. Mm-hmm. So much so that you're getting contacted by other speakers and performers and artists. That's and you are getting all kinds of work all the time to go and do things. And so I think that part of the challenge in my mind, and I don't know, and you and I, we've talked about this, is that money has not been a huge factor now for you.
Well,
you live at home.
Yeah, I do.
So you're trying to save up for a car.
Yeah,
you're going to have to pay for gas. So I think as soon as you start seeing the need for money, and that money is determined by finishing a job, that's going to take care of that problem. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it won't be hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is, like if you think about ADHD, how do you feel about rewards?
I love rewards.
So when you were little and I needed to do
I want to win. That's more competitive.
But still, I mean, winning the reward is a competitive, like you're competing with yourself.
Yeah.
But also, do you remember when you were little and there were certain things that you had to do and I would dangle that like carrot? Whatever that would be, like go to Laser Flash or what was it, like go get a Pokemon or...
Yeah, that's still today.
Go get Annie a pup cup. So I think that getting that paycheck so that you can do the things that you want to do personally will become a little bit more like that reward.
Yeah.
I think the hard part will be is when you start having to pay bills and you're like, well, crap, that's not what I want to do, but you have to do
it. Yeah.
So back on the follow through on tasks. So what do you do with somebody like yourself that struggles with that to try to be better in that department?
Well, right now I think first I'm given all these tasks to do. I have multiple things I have to get done, a lot of things I have to prioritize. So first I find out the things that I need to get done first. So I make a list and it's there and I look at it. And
you use a computer software or do you actually write it out?
I write it out. I'm struggling right now with that. I don't know why. Whenever I write it down, I don't see it and I need to see it. So I started doing like a whiteboard kind of a thing.
Sure.
But then I like to have it for later to look back and like feel accomplished about myself. But with the whiteboard, I have to erase it.
It's kind of like, people who read books, they want to read that book and then put it on the shelf. It's kind of like a trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's almost like maybe what you need to do is like get a Polaroid camera or something like that, snap a picture of the whiteboard and then pin it on a board.
Those are expensive, though.
I know they are.
Those are really expensive.
They're stupid expensive.
Mm-hmm. But okay, so the thing I really struggle with, and I think a lot of us, probably every single person who's watching this struggles with, is that motivation. The motivation isn't going to get you there. You have to have discipline to do it. So that's what I'm working on, is the discipline to do it.
I like that. Do you know what they say about discipline?
No.
Discipline is the gift that you give your future self.
Oh yeah, I heard you say that one time.
It's great.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good visual.
Yeah.
So you're tackling that. I won't bag on you for the 2 videos that I still need. Anna's house and
oh yeah,
not Anna's house. Riley and Pam. I literally woke up this morning thinking about those, and I'm like, wait, she hasn't gotten me those. That's for months. But anyway,
sorry.
No, those are. And I think that you're good with the idea of, hey, what is a priority here on my to-do list?
Yeah.
And here's the reality, and this is the difficult part of working with your parents, is that we're your parents.
Yeah.
You know, if you go do a show for Johnny Magic, you're gonna rock his stuff out first all day long. First. Yeah. But my stuff's over there. That's still gonna make me dinner. So I think that working with your family and stuff, that creates a unique dynamic. I think that we can do it well, and it's fine, and all that's good. I do think that there'll be a time where you're gonna go out and get it done, and then you're gonna be like, wait, can I come play again? All right, let's go to the next one. Disorganization. That is not you.
I'm good with organization for the most part.
So remember, those of you that are listening right now, I actually talked a little bit about this thing called comorbidity. Comorbidity.
What is that?
That's a good question. Comorbidity. I'm going to have some water here.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Comorbidity.
It's one of those words you're like, why can't they come up with something easier?
Yeah.
Okay, comorbidity is where you can have multiple neurological things going on at the same time. So what they've discovered, and I don't know how they discovered it, but what they've discovered is that you can have something like ADHD and autism simultaneously. So you can have ADHD and OCD simultaneously. So I would say that where your sister is the tornado boy-esque girl, whatever you want to call it. My mom used to call me the tornado boy. So, Annie's my clone.
Yeah.
She is I'm going to throw it everywhere.
Yep.
Where when you walk into Natasha's room, everything is in its special spot.
It needs to be in that spot.
Do you remember when you were little? You probably don't even remember this. But I would walk into your room and you would literally say to me, Dad, don't touch anything.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
You're like, don't touch anything.
Yeah, still don't touch anything.
Oh, I'll go in there and I'm going to mess up that sock drawer big time. So you don't struggle with that. So let's talk on that for a minute, because when you have ADHD, I always talk about how important it is to have structure and organization. So how does that benefit you?
The organization part, it makes me feel like not everything's all jungled up, and like it helps me work better, of course, as it should. There are like little factors that I'm still working on with like the organization, at least like the planning things. Like I feel like when I have so much to do, it just all in my and I keep it in my brain and I don't write it down or I don't put it on that whiteboard, then I feel unorganized when it comes to making those reels. Or like for you at least, and Mom.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. It is the disorganization of your mind.
Yeah.
So the mental all over the place, and then the whiteboard and the Post-it notes or whatever you use.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to get it out.
Yes.
And then being able to organize it.
Yeah, that's what I really struggle with.
Okay. Which is actually really cool, because as far as keeping your room tidy and your office area tidy, you've always done really well there. But yet,
the organization of the brain is
that's huge. Actually,
a tough one.
I like that. I'm gonna highlight that. That's something to really dive into. Yeah, good one.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's another one.
Yep.
Are you easily distracted?
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like when I was younger, I really don't think I really had much ADHD when I was younger. Like I studied my stuff, I did it well, I got A's, B's, all that. But as I've gotten older, I feel like it's starting to develop a lot more.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I feel like, with like adolescence, I guess, like, when you start to turn into a teenager, things develop, and I guess that was one thing that really started to develop with me, I guess. Maybe. Does that make sense? I don't know.
No, I think that, the scope of your thinking and in your mental development And then also your access to more of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were younger, you didn't have access to Instagram and different things. And
Right.
even though you could, we would let you post some things on YouTube, we didn't let you surf YouTube.
Yeah, no.
So you definitely have that kind of a freedom. And I do think that that adds an element of distraction, constantly pulling you, saying, hey, check out your numbers on Instagram. And while you're there, scroll.
Yeah. That's so bad.
When the students got me onto TikTok, man, that was like the best and the worst thing.
Yeah.
Now I get like a million fishing videos and I'm like, is that a northern eating a northern?
Oh, I've seen that one. That one's crazy.
I've seen some new northern ones. Dude, they're crazy. I want to go northern fishing.
Oh, I know, me too.
Actually, I watched a video on a guy on how to clean it.
Oh, you did?
And now, yeah.
If I saved it. Is it not the square?
No, he did something different and I'm like, that's all you got to do?
Oh, it's really easy.
Oh, yeah.
It looks easy. It's probably not.
Yeah. Well, he had a bucket full of these northerns. And
dang.
Northern actually is a really good meal, but they've
Yeah.
got a bone in there. They're like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
So I cleaned them this last summer, and it was an epic fail.
Yeah, I think
it still tasted pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was.
So back on what's distracting you.
Yeah, it's funny. I've made multiple videos on my Instagram about distractions.
Sure.
And how well, at least I made one where my phone, you're editing and your phone's right by your computer, and you're like, oh, maybe I should look at it. I posted a new video. Let's see how many likes I got. New photo thing. It's so hard.
Yeah.
And the phone is just like, when I was younger in middle school, my teacher, Miss Becker, was like, yeah, so we're going to put your phones in this phone cage so that you don't get distracted during class. Maybe we should just get one of those.
A little phone cage?
Yeah, it's a phone cage. Just, you have the key. Give it.
As long as I can put you in there with the phone. What?
I don't know if that's going to work.
Hey, you have to go in the cage if you want to use the phone, in the phone cage. So let me ask you this, because as I'm thinking about, you made this differentiation between how you were, let's say, in elementary, middle school, and then as you got into high school and the freedom and all that stuff started in the adolescence.
Yeah.
I also think that in elementary and in middle school, there was so much more structure.
Yeah.
There was a lot more like, hey, here's what you need to do.
That's
this is what
true.
needs to be done. And now that you're in that adulting stage, you have to figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
It's really hard, actually.
So let me ask you this, and obviously I'm not volunteering because I think that you need somebody outside your family, but would you think that having somebody that you could bounce stuff off of like, hey, here's what I'm thinking about getting done this week, and pre-planning out your week so that you have that structure in place before the week starts? So, because like when you wake up in the morning and you don't know what to do, how long does it take before you get rolling?
I had one day last week where I didn't do anything because I didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do?
Right.
Like, and I have so much to do, but like the fact that it's not in my brain when I wake up, I'm like, okay, I'll go eat breakfast, but then what?
There was a book that I read years ago, and I can't remember the name of the author, but one of his big key components was go to bed with the end in mind.
Yeah. So
what he was referring to, and I don't know, and this does lead me into the reason why I actually brought you into this podcast, because I'm going to dive into it next.
Okay.
I was always afraid to do that because if I go to bed thinking about what I'm going to accomplish the next day, it keeps me awake.
Yeah. It doesn't do it to me though.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In my last podcast, I talked about how I like to get up early.
Yep.
I go to bed early.
Yep.
I'm very functional in the morning. Now, granted, I felt like this morning I was a little bit in a fog because I had a really rough night. My mind was all over the place.
Yeah.
Just processing some conversations I've got to have and trying to navigate some of those things. And it was just like, I literally woke up at 4:30 and I'm like, is it time to wake up?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, crap. If I wake up now, I'm going to be absolutely exhausted. And, we've got the Caitlin Clark game tonight.
Oh, my gosh.
I was playing UConn. So
wait, they're playing UConn?
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Oh, my gosh.
That's going to be.
With that Paige girl, she's really good.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Have you seen her?
No.
She's really good.
Is she?
She has like blonde hair. I don't know. I think that's all I know.
That really helped me out.
I think her last name's Paige Burker or something.
I know who she is now.
I think she plays I don't know if she's a point guard or if she's the spot Angel Reese plays, like where she's like under
I might have seen a post put out by the Minnesota Vikings wishing her luck.
Oh, really?
She might, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that it was either somebody somebody was playing tonight. They were like, hey, because she's always been a Viking fan.
Oh, yeah.
There's a picture when she was really little wearing all the Viking gear. But
that's cool.
Anyway, not to get distracted.
Yeah.
I was talking about how you are a little bit more of a night owl.
Yes, I am.
So you know, you don't wake up as early as I do.
Definitely not.
And I only do that because I've learned that I'm more functional and I'm a little bit more in control of some of my ADD tendencies, and I can do things that I struggle with, like writing and reading and all that stuff in the morning. But for you, talk about your sleep pattern and how you navigate that.
I think, well, since I don't really have school anymore, school kind of forces you to wake up. I mean,
right.
You got to get up for school. I mean, if you don't, then you're going to miss classes and then you're going to get in trouble and all that. But since I'm doing stuff on my own now, I'm really working on that routine. I'd say I usually get up between the hours of 8 and 10.
Okay. When do you wake up at 8?
There's been a couple of times.
The only time you wake up that early is when you have to go downtown for work. But any other time, you're not waking up. Yeah,
okay, fine. We'll say 9, 10 when I don't 30. Have to go downtown.
I mean, dude, I got home from the gym today at 10:30, and you're still like, hey,
no, I wasn't. You turned.
Is it morning? Is someone going to make me a damn waffle or what?
Okay,
anyway.
Look, okay.
What are you breaking everything for?
I'm not breaking anything. So, I am not a morning person, okay? I will just go flat out and say it. You literally said it there.
Oh, she's not a morning person.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday it was like...
We already talked about yesterday. I know, we don't have to bring it back up.
It was epic. It was just like...
Look, I was dealing with some things, okay?
Apparently. I mean, I did nothing wrong. I was just
it wasn't you at all.
It was like basically, I was like, good morning, Alec. I mean, I almost thought I was going to hear, you know, with a...
Okay. Moving on.
I was going to get stabbed.
But, you know, not everybody's a morning person, and... What is that face?
No,
Look,
you're not a morning person.
I'm not a morning person. We know.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so you're not a morning person.
Yes.
You get up at noon and you... Okay, you wake up sometime in the AM.
9, 10. Okay, that's the...
You get rolling eventually.
Yes.
So what time do you actually start work? What would you say you do here?
Look, man.
This has been very revealing.
I thought we already...
I guess my question to you, this is where I'm going with this.
Yeah, come on. What's the point?
The point is that I want my reels. My point is, if you're a night owl.
Yes.
And obviously you are.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of those individuals that recognizes, hey, I have got to actually work at night versus be entertained at night? So you'll go and do you take your time to go and do your reels and whatever video editing, you know, later on at night?
I do.
Yeah, you do. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be times where Annie and I'll be chilling out and be like, hey, we're going to play cards, and you're up there working on one of your projects.
Yeah.
So how's that going for you though?
I mean, it's good. I mean, sometimes I have to stop myself from staying up too late. I've only had a couple of those where I'm just like, man, it's like 12. I got to go to bed. But, I mean, I can do that. I can go to bed late.
What's the latest that you usually stay up?
12.
12? Okay.
12.
Is that your average? Like, you're up till 12 most nights?
11, 12.
11, 12.
I mean, I could probably go later, but I think if I go past 12, then I'm going to have what you have, where I stay up thinking about that.
Oh, sure.
Because I like, you know, this is really random, but not. Whenever I start like a drawing and it's getting somewhere, I can't not finish it that same day. I have to finish it because I know I'm going to get distracted and then later I'm not going to.
So basically what you're saying is if you start sketching, so you like to draw.
Yes, I do like to draw.
If you get to a certain stage, you have to finish it.
Yep.
Like there's no.
Yeah, no one can stop me. I'm going to finish it
Okay.
until I like it.
So that's called hyper-focused.
Yes.
Which is a gift and a curse.
Yes.
And do you remember back in the day when I used to code and make all those games, and I'd be sitting at that computer forever and ever, and you'd be like, "Come play."
Yeah, I do.
Hey, there's a bird outside. I think it's a parakeet. Leave me alone. Actually, it was a parakeet.
That's a true story.
Yeah, but so let's jump back into this. I was only curious about that because I know we've got very different sleep patterns, and when you wake up, though, do you feel refreshed and ready to go? Or does it take you a little while?
This past week, I've not been refreshed.
Well, this week we get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but some days I'm like, I do not want to get up right now, even when it's later. So here's the thing. Here's one thing I've noticed, and I think this is actually with everybody. Let's say you go to bed at 12, late, but you know that you have something the next morning that you absolutely have to go to, like a flight.
Yep.
You can't miss that flight.
Yep.
I automatically wake up. I'm not even tired. Don't feel any kind of wanting to go back to bed. And I do that like with when I do cameras at my church. I do that for that too.
Yeah. So with that, which is a huge indicator, like there's the reveal. Like there's the self-awareness, and what you've learned is if I go to bed, I have to have something ready in the hopper in the morning so that it gets me rolling.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge part. And, with where you're at and what you're doing and all of the things that you've got going on, I don't think that you need to be every day like that. But I mean, I think that if you could create that consistency, you're going to build momentum. And then I know this about you, and I think this is true for most high functioning ADHD individuals. We love being productive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
getting
started
is really hard.
Yeah.
I made a reel about that too.
Once you get the thing done, how do you feel?
Great.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Pretty boss hog.
Yeah, it feels real good. And especially when you're doing something that is a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
I mean, the industry that you're in, basically, you're looking for critique.
Yeah.
I mean, when you create a reel for me or for your mom or for Johnny Magic or for Sam Glenn, you're looking for some kind of feedback. And when you knock it out the park and you get that feedback, how does that?
It's good.
Yeah. It feels like a win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you want. But I think what's interesting for me is, as your dad and having battled ADHD my whole life and talked about it, and knowing that you've kind of have aspects of it, trying to see how you're navigating these years now.
Yeah.
Because it really is. This is on you. This is you. This is you having to figure out how to budget. This is you having to figure out how to do a schedule. And, I would say for the most part, I've actually been really, really impressed with, like what you said, if we've got a flight, if we've got a gig, if we got something going on, you're there.
Yeah.
Without hesitation, which has been very impressive. And there's never been a complaint. I mean, the only complaint is like when we get delayed in Detroit.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah. The delays. Ugh.
The worst is the getting delays on the way back.
Yeah.
You're like, I just want to get home.
Yeah. Gosh, and flying is so tiring.
I don't know why it is, but it absolutely is. It just
drains.
You're sitting on a plane, and for some reason, it wipes you out.
I think I've noticed this. Like, even with this week being like kind of sick, like if you sit at home and do nothing, you're just gonna be tired. Like, if you want to try to do something, it's going to be much harder because you sat at home all day doing nothing.
So let me ask you this, because
energy.
Okay. So yesterday, we'll dive into this a little bit. We're getting close to our 40 minutes, but I think this would be really good because there's probably some young individuals listening to this or probably watching it because you're more of a watch it.
Oh yeah, I like to watch.
Watch it versus listen to it.
Unless I'm in the car driving, then that is not.
Oh, the boss is calling. Tell your caller back in 10 minutes.
Okay, I shall.
All right. So
can I call you back later?
Yeah. She doesn't know that you're on a podcast right now. So she's just like, I need my reel. But speaking of your mother, this is a perfect segue. So you were
segue?
Yeah,
isn't that like a
car? Oh, it's like a little scooter thing. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a moment.
And this is the podcast to have that moment. ADHD. So yesterday you were kind of on the mend, maybe not feeling 100%, maybe 75, 80, I don't know.
I would say 75.
75%. And your mom pretty much was just like, hey, you have a job, you've got to go to work, and she dragged you downtown, and that's why I was getting the evil.
Yep.
It wasn't anything I did, and I knew it.
You knew.
So I just kind of stayed out of your way. But you did. You went down there. You got a reel done for me. I know that, and you probably did some other things.
Yeah.
How did you actually feel?
I hated it. I'm gonna be straight up. I did not want to go.
No, you didn't. But I mean, how did you feel afterwards? Because you just said, hey, when you stay at home, and it's just going to make you more tired.
Yeah.
And you got out of the house, and maybe the problem is that you didn't. It was like, I really didn't want to go, so there's that stubborn side.
Yeah, I was very stubborn.
But you went anyways.
I will say, while I was in the office, I kind of stayed isolated because I didn't want to, get anyone else like sick if it's
sure.
But I mean, I did some work. I got some stuff done. I was still a little stubborn on the way back, but when I got home and we ate dinner, I let it go, and I was like, you know what, I went, and it's the past. Am I glad? I mean, sure, maybe a little.
Well, if you got some things done and you were able to knock them off that list.
That's why I was happy. I got a few things done. And I watched a lot of poker videos that day, too.
So if your mom's watching this, she's going to be watching you. Are you watching poker again? Why are you into all these poker videos right now?
Because we've been playing poker, and it just popped up, and I saw this guy get, like, ace quads. And I'm like, oh, I could get
4 of a kind aces?
Yeah.
Wow. We were playing over at my mom's house the other day, and I don't play a lot of poker.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, Texas Hold'em.
I got 4 of a kind.
Yeah, you did.
That's the first time I've ever gotten that.
And you played it well, too.
I did play it well.
Yeah. Usually when you make, like, all your faces, he's totally bluffing, but he made all those faces, and I thought he was bluffing, but he wasn't.
How many people did I take down? I know I took my mom down.
Oh, you took down your mom and Andy.
Yeah.
Andy and I stayed out.
Yep. They had to buy back in. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the night, you guys won. And
yep. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We had a good strat.
Yeah, you did. Annie's so dang lucky. But
yeah, she is.
Well, hey, thank you for jumping on this podcast.
Sure.
Hey, if there's anybody out there that is in their, early 20s that is dealing with ADHD and, struggling with some of those things, what kind of a word of encouragement would you give them?
Oh gosh, I mean, I'm in the same exact boat as you. I mean, I'm taking a gap year, which is, I feel like it's leading to multiple more gap years. But I mean,
multiple more.
Yeah.
Well, why would you say that? What have you learned here in this gap year that would cause you to want to take another gap year? And have you talked to your friends that are in college?
I have talked to them. And, they seem all right. They don't, like, when I think of college, I think of, like, parties and, like, football games and basketball games. But, they're saying, one of my really good friends, she actually said it's very lonely. She doesn't have really any friends. And that's very surprising to me. Because the one reason why I would go to college is for the community. Like, during my gap year, I'm struggling with finding people. And if I were to go to college, that would be, like, one of the main reasons. But her saying that, I'm like, wow, that's kind of revealing. I mean... Yeah, I
mean, even at a big college like that, you can know, because she goes to IU, right?
No, I'm talking about Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she goes to Purdue.
Which is interesting because she's kind of a really outgoing, nice person.
She's very nice.
Yeah.
She's very nice. I'd say she's kind of like me. She's introverted, extroverted. She can be extroverted when she wants to.
Yeah.
But she's on this whole team, and when she told me she just didn't really she wasn't really connecting with people, I just thought that was very surprising. And I'm like, man, if she can't connect, like, has a hard time, like, I mean, right, it's a big place, and it's very hard to find people, like, and especially people you connect with, like, and relate with, and I don't know, that's pretty tough.
So you touched on something. We got just a couple more minutes left, but I'm just curious because it's a big thing, and I talk a lot about it, is connection and community, and so you've shared that is a difficult thing.
Yes,
and now you're in a gap year and different things like that. What are some suggestions, or what are some things that you're trying to do? I'm not saying that you're doing them successfully.
Yeah.
But what are some things that you're trying to do or wanting to do or planning to do to help with that community? Or finding community. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah. Things that I'm trying to do. Well, I'm kind of struggling with that, as you just said, because I'm not really sure what to do. I mean, right now I am going to this church, but I am feeling like I should be moving to another place. And I'm kind of, it's kind of back to that motivation and discipline. Like, I'm not feeling the motivation to go out searching for places and talking to people because I'm more of an introverted person, and I'd rather stay home and, be in my room editing. But, I feel like it's going to get to a point where I just get so like, man, I just want to talk to people. I need people where I will go out there and I will find friends and community. And I think what you just have to have is the discipline again. You have to just realize, you don't want to, you can't do things all by yourself. I mean, yes, it can be enjoyable at times where, I don't know, you're just chilling in your room, but like, is that really how you want to spend the rest of your life? Probably not. It's better to have people because, yeah.
No, that's good. And
Yeah.
I think that I shared this, I don't know if it was on I think it was a reel, where sometimes you get angry and fed up with something so much so that it ignites the motivation.
Yeah.
You say discipline, to me that is, okay, this is something I'm going to do consistently, like what you've done with your reels. But you are at a point where it's like, I need to have just enough of a motivation to ignite something, to ignite the change. And I think that I'm going to remind you of a few things that you've mentioned to me. Mm-hmm. You love to dance. You love to perform.
I do.
And so you've talked about going and finding different places where you might be able to do that.
Yes.
And there's community there. I think that anytime you can find community around an activity or an interest, I think that's really good. I think the challenge with the church, and you and I've talked about that, is that that's where you were as a youth.
Yeah.
In the youth group. And now you're in this adulting stage. And so it's kind of an awkward transitional time because that's just what you've always been used to. But now you're needing to move into a place where you're around other people your age that are doing things that you're trying to do. Adulting. You're not thinking about prom. You're thinking, you're thinking about.
By the way, prom is way overrated. You see those movies? It's never like that, ever.
Well, when I was in prom, no, it was the same.
Yeah, how was 80s prom?
A lot of big hair.
Yeah,
lots of crazy hair.
Well, that makes sense.
And I had a really good junior prom.
Me too.
And then my senior year was okay. Yeah. I remember going out to eat, and we went to this fancy restaurant. I wanted to be like super like the movies, and I think I ordered something that was like cow intestines or something, and I didn't know it. And I'm like, I can't eat it was like a delicacy. It was nasty.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I don't. What am I eating? I'm like, I should have just got a burger, but they didn't have burger. It was like this really like ooh. Oh yeah. I was trying to impress the girl I was dating, and
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, what an epic fail. But anyway, hey, will you come on and join us again sometime?
Yes, of course.
All right. I appreciate you sitting here and sharing with us.
Yeah,
and
thanks. This was fun.
Get my reels done, girl.
Yeah, all right.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for listening. Be sure you hit that follow, subscribe, whatever that button is. And if you've got any comments or whatnot, let us know what they are. If you enjoyed Natasha, let me know, and I'll invite her back on. And as always, love, peace, and
Lego bricks.
Lego bricks. God bless.